Did you want an attorney?
No, actually, I'll wait till my charge. I'll hear what my charges are.
All right, sounds good.
I'm 295 back on feet. Thank you for your assist on that, everyone, by the way.
No problemo, Rupert. Anytime.
Forum belongs in green.
Here we are.
Glad you're okay, Rupert.
Trying to move down that bridge with a broken leg was so unfun.
I like green.
You know,
Money.
you
I hate
attempted.
that they changed
The king and I get a
USD
pickup from
$100 bills to
the
blue.
hospital.
That's stupid. Should keep it green.
690, you can
Yeah.
come, bro.
Right through here.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Good to see you, Rhodes.
You too. I hope you're doing well.
You as well.
It's been quite some time.
It has.
All right. Come through here first. I just need to make. Actually, I took your mugshot the other day, didn't I?
Yeah. You retook it the other day.
Just go up there for now. I just want to double check, make sure there's no issues,
Outside the back
because
door for now.
Yeah, sure thing.
Ruth, does that individual have a mugshot? Do keep in mind that
I believe so.
a firm. All right. I'm only asking because a lot of the old mugshots no longer show. We have to redo them.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Shows.
Just take my hat. Just take my hat.
I don't think I need to actually
okay,
do it,
okay.
but what's your state ID?
18725.
All right.
I think you retook it in Sunday, but
I did. Yes,
I don't
yes,
mind
yes.
getting it done again here.
No,
if needed.
you're good. You're good. I'm just going to fingerprint you, more of a formality than anything else. Give me a second. All right. So I'm just gonna put the little fingerprint scanner right here against your finger. Just try not to move too much.
No, I'll be okay.
There you are. We are good. Regarding possessions, let's see. Give me 1 second.
Yep, sure thing.
There we are. The last thing that I'm going to be taking from you is the radio, but prior to me doing that, I'm just going to go and check the frequency. There we are. And we should be good. So in terms of seized possessions, it is going to be the shotgun, the shells for it, the ammo, the inked cash, key card, thermite, and radio. Hello.
What?
Yeah.
Give me just a moment. Here, come over here. I don't want to
What the heck
accidentally
is this?
take someone else's stuff. All right.
This man is untrustworthy.
There's money on the ground.
That's my
Hey.
money. Don't take my money.
Kicks it up and grabs it with his
Oh,
mouth.
nope.
Oh.
Come on. I'm gonna
You
walk
think you're that talented?
So you could like crouch and pick it up. Never mind. I'm not going to say what else.
He ain't flexible. You know
That's
what
true,
would be
that's
funny
true.
is if he lost his balance, couldn't recover, and fucking his
Banged his head and just
not just banged his head, like like while falling over,
I don't want you to hurt
Mhm.
his mouth just went right up against the desk, lost all his
Are you
teeth.
the mac and
Ugh.
cheese guy?
We go
Right,
this
this
way.
way.
I've never been.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's unfortunate.
Never seen this side.
It's probably burnt now.
Is it just the same as the other side?
Pretty much.
Oh,
These don't
Oh.
have the noise canceling cells though. The two on that side do.
Oh,
Are you
okay,
familiar with
okay.
those?
Yeah. I've seen them. I've seen them.
All right. I'm just gonna do one more quick search of your person.
Yep, yeah, that's all good.
There we are.
I have a gun.
All right. Once I'm out here and the door is locked, which it is now.
Mm-hmm. Just put my hands through the little flap
Perfect.
for you.
All right. Do me one favor. I do have to run your gun. So it is just going to take a couple more minutes.
Yeah, sure. I'll,
Given you weren't involved in the actual shooting portion, you're not going to cop any of those charges, thankfully.
Okay,
Obviously, you
I
will still
appreciate
get the bank truck related stuff in addition to the possessions plus hot gun stuff. But that's currently where we stand regarding charges. So give me just a second. I'll go do that, and I will be back.
Did you see me at the bank truck? Did you see me?
I did.
Are you sure?
I'm
Are you
certain I
sure?
saw you.
You guys showed up.
Are you double sure?
I'm as sure
Put a
as
report up.
there is sure. 390. Wait, did you put it up?
Okay.
Or did you ask for one?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Give me a second. I go deal with this gun. I'll be back.
Yep. Okay. I'll take a seat.
And then I shot them.
Okay, good statement to have. Perfect. How many officers did you shoot?
I don't know.
Any rough
Couple.
guesses? A couple. Okay.
He also
Actually,
did. He
none.
shot at Air One.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
I saw you.
Your eyes deceive you.
I was in the heli. I remember.
You just admitted to shooting officers, but you're not going to admit to shooting Air One. I mean, it would be pretty hard if you were shooting Air One.
So he's
wasn't trying to
responsible
shoot
for Rupert. He shot the 2 officers in Air One. He's also responsible for King going down.
Oh yes, he was. I was there for that, and he shot at Peter's and the other officer I was with.
Yes. So whatever that count is, should be the total. My individual was in cuffs
shit.
before any shooting happened, so he's not going to cop any of that. But I am going to go run his gun, so I will be back.
Okay.
Oh, this is loud.
Hello, guys. I put a report up. Please put your statement in if you got shot and everything. Thank you.
Poor Rupert with the broken leg. Fuck, we have to go to the roof. Ugh. Dispatch 390, all units ignore shots at Mission Row. We're doing ballistics testing. Hmm. Ooh, only 2. There was 3. Hmm. Thought I was griefing and didn't have a fucking flashlight.
Would you be able to help me for a second? I don't know what
Yeah,
things
what's
have
up?
changed to run his gun, how anything is different.
Come on up, come on up. I hate ballistics testing at Mission Row, but I will, yes, I will go through it with
Okay.
you. Let me just lock this up, sorry. Do you have an evidence bag by chance?
I do not.
Okay, so, number 1, I don't know what the fuck is over here, but I am gonna clean this all up.
Okay.
Because this looks excessive. There we are. All right, so,
Okay.
you got the
Some real
gun?
targets. I do.
all right. You're gonna want to shoot one of the targets. You're good. 1 shot. Don't be like the other bozos who sit there and shoot a bunch. If you did have an evidence bag, it would go directly into the evidence bag. Full disclosure. So
Okay.
you want to make sure that if you've got one with stuff, you don't confuse that with, you know, other
Yeah.
stuff.
All right, and then just pick it up.
Yep, pick it up. And then also grab the projectile, or the brojectile is what I call it. We label it with the B. Why, I don't know, but it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah, I remember when they set that up.
From my understanding, I think the reason we don't do this by the armory is because the
Bullets go through walls
projectiles,
sometimes.
well, believe it or not, they sink. They sink to the ground.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're hitting a wall, it ends up behind a counter, or maybe in the basement. Who knows? But okay, we're good. Whew. Listen, I always get lost. Okay, I'm not at Mission Row. Listen, this is like Turner office territory, you know. So I'm not. I ain't looking to be here too often. Here we are. And right through here.
I remember that evidence room.
So, those
And
casings...
then same locker?
No. So we're actually not
Okay.
putting that in here.
Okay.
What you're going to do... well, first order of business. I want you to open up your pockets. And at the bottom left of your pocket... there's no settings or anything. But more importantly, if there were, you'd want to be able to easily copy a description. Okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to, focus on that piece of evidence. And you're going to go ahead and sort of memorize a copy of that. You know, good old Control C.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna paste that elsewhere. That way you don't have to manually write it out and typo it and somehow fuck it up, you know? Because jotting all that down is a pain. Once you do that, it's literally no more than
Putting it in the report.
well, putting it in the report, but specifically looking at the evidence tab with that.
Yep.
You do have to be careful though, because give me a second.
We didn't collect any evidence on this scene.
We could, we couldn't. Unfortunately, we left.
Yeah, my guy was GSR negative by time.
I can verify your. Well, we can confirm he shot.
Yeah.
But additionally, he's 100% the passenger of the Astron.
Okay.
So here's the thing: you have to be careful because everything that pops up in evidence may not be an actual match. Do you know how within the identifier there's sort of dashes?
Yeah.
Every one of those dashes is being searched for individually. So if that, let's say there's typically like a few like 4-digit ones or 4-character ones. If that matches any other piece of evidence that has that, it'll also come up. So you just want to double check and make sure that what's coming up is actually a perfect match. And not just like a partial. Do you want me to take a look at it and run through? Because unfortunately, I'm not able to see what you're seeing.
Yeah, I just put the casing in. I'm putting in the projectile right now.
Got it. But have you searched to see if it's a hot gun?
Not yet.
Okay, you'd probably want to do that first, because if
it will
nothing,
show up in here.
correct. If nothing comes up, then you can sort of very quickly rule it out. But if you put it in evidence first, it'll be, you're going to ultimately end up seeing it and then have to individually look at the reports.
1042. How you all guys?
10-4, thank you for your service.
You, Mr. Knox, good night.
26644. Hot gun. Criminal. Whoops.
Okay. So I did already put it in, but I had done that before.
It's fine. It's no big deal. You just want to
There's
click.
a bunch of incidents involved. I don't know if people have been
Can
charged
I
already.
check your pockets and grab the?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I'll run through this with you. Is it the 1F3?
Yes.
All right. So
it's
when I
395,
look at
see?
evidence. Okay, so oh my gosh, that is wildly hot.
Yep. That's why I just wanted to make sure I'm doing it right, because it seems like there's gonna be a shit ton here.
Ooh.
And it doesn't look like, so one of them...
Question.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, dealing with that is ass. Do you want my 95 and I take yours?
No, I don't mind.
Are you
Just
sure?
because, you know, it gets me back into things very quickly.
It's just, you know, they're I'm so sorry.
It's, you know...
Okay, so first
What if
order
I
of
told you
business.
the first thing I did today was arrest an officer. And then straight into this.
Bless your heart.
First day back on duty.
Bless your heart. Okay, so first order of business. When you search for that, you're going to see three things. One was manually put in by you.
Yep.
But the others, one is going to be casings and one is going to be projectiles. So the thing is, sometimes you may find projectiles, but not the original casings, especially in the case of someone shooting within a car.
Just been shot, open fired upon.
What the fuck?
28, Legion Square, vehicles fleeing northbound.
Oh my god, okay.
Shooting out of the back of a Benson.
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know what the fuck is happening. People need to calm it the fuck down. So let's see here. So you pretty much need to comb through all of the casing ones and the projectile ones.
Make sure they're different.
Not make sure they're different necessarily. Here's the shitty part. You're going to have a problem with reports versus incidents. So what I do is I get my little notepad, I put casings, and then I put in every report and every incident. Then I go through and I put another thing, you know, projectiles, and I do the same thing. And if there's any that the other isn't a part of, I sort of add that to like a master list, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that makes
But you
sense.
then have to rule out reports that have been escalated to incidents, because both are going to show the original report and the new incident.
And the new incident,
correct.
because they always have the new numbers. I
Yes.
remember that.
So you pretty much, if there's a report that's been escalated to an incident, you kind of just remove the report at that point.
Okay, and I remember we asked, it tells you what incident it's been.
Correct.
forwarded to,
Yes.
So that helps.
Yep. So you specifically want to focus on under like used in reports. Like if I'm looking, are you looking at casings or projectiles at the moment?
Casings.
So you'll see at the very top, there's actually going to be duplicate ones. You'll see 16660 for the top one, and then under that, same thing. You don't have to write it down twice. It's going to be the exact same thing.
The same thing. Yeah.
Yep. It's actually not probably as bad as we thought, because it seems as though there's a lot of duplicates. So in your case, I'd be writing down 16660, 16659, 16149, 25932, which has already been escalated. As you can see the preview where it says
And
this
that's
report
been
was promoted.
Escalated to 149, which is already there.
Correct. So
it
you
doesn't-
don't even have to write that down.
Yep.
But then you do 25825, 15986, and you don't have to do 25619 because that was also promoted.
15986.
Yep.
Okay.
But then again, you have to sort of circle back and find the one that's for casing or projectiles, because there may be some that aren't attached. It's likely that most of them are actually almost immediately. It's not.
I know some of them aren't, like 16732 is.
Yep.
You know, I'm remembering all this.
Let's see. Thankfully, the preview of promoted to incident fits there, so you can actually fairly quickly do that. 49 149 25829. That's probably a fairly important one.
Judge Barrick shot.
Yeah. I don't have context behind that.
All right, I got the 10 reports. Oh, 9 reports.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Oh, no,
8. I
that
got
one was
8. Did I mess up?
promoted. 8. I got 8. Yeah.
Okay,
One of them was
perfect.
promoted that I didn't miss.
So yeah, then you pretty much have to comb through those. An overwhelming majority of these situations will come back to like gang relateds or boosts. In a lot of them, most times they just get charged with criminal use. If these guns, were seen by Air One like actively shooting and they went to grab casings, then we would push gang related. But 9 times out of 10 at the top of the report, they almost always clarify what charges to press.
Yep. Okay. As they should. All right, perfect. I can just comb through these. I'll go back downstairs so he's not alone down there. I can't trust him in soft cuffs. He tries to hurt himself, so
Oh,
he's very stuck in place.
fair enough. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. Also, those casings and projectiles do not go in the evidence locker. It sort of messes with VR. Those get tossed.
Okay.
The only time we, how do I word this?
Do the weapons and stuff go into the evidence locker?
The weapons do. They automatically get cataloged. However, the only sort of exception is we don't input the weapon into the evidence locker to get categorized by the local evidence people to determine if it's a hot gun.
Okay. We do that
with
separately
the with the exception of guns that can no longer be used. If if it's too rusty, that is the only time in which we utilize putting that gun in the evidence locker to determine if it comes back to any sort of hot situations. Otherwise, we always do a ballistics test and verify it that way.
Okay.
We should be good.
The evidence locker for incident locker, is it just the incident text, nothing else?
Correct. So it should just be 16762.
Do you do magazines in there as well?
Yes, pretty much everything. I'll throw in actually everything my individual had.
All right, I'll let you do that first, and I'll make sure I'm in the right one.
There we are. My individual was on radio 320.4. Was yours on that radio by chance?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Do you see the stuff in the locker?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then you should be clear to put everything in there. Just again, not the casing or projectile that you picked up. If it was casings and projectiles picked up on scene, 100% we put those in, but not the ballistics one.
Not the ballistics one. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go deal with Lloyd. I guarantee it was fucking Hydra. Maybe not, actually. Benson? Wait, was it a Benson? Presley? No. What was it? Gunshots? I don't fucking know. Guys, we're sorry for the delay. There's just... Sir, your gun is hot as fuck. I'm gonna be honest.
Mine?
Yeah, so sorry for the delay.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're going away for a long time.
Shit.
Can I be honest with you?
What have I told
Yeah,
you?
what's
I
up?
haven't looked at your charges at all because that guy
Help my
was given a Omega hot gun,
I bought it all
and I just had to double check things. So
yeah,
I
that's
do
fine, that's fine.
apologize.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll sit here and chill. It's all good.
Okay.
Give me one momento.
Guessing you're training or teaching? I guess?
More so a refresher. That's actually my prior boss.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
she was
Well, yeah,
big
yeah.
boss lady in the PD.
Okay, yeah. Do you think? Fine.
Well, we
I'm-
should be
I'm
good.
chilling.
I just want to double check.
I hope mine wasn't as hot. I'm guessing.
Not nearly as hot, but hot. I don't believe for anything serious. I just have to. Unfortunately, what happens is casings are categorized differently than projectiles, and so I have to manually look at all of the projectiles from this gun, all of the casings from this gun, and then compare to. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a fucking mess, but it is what it is. It shouldn't take too long though, because there aren't too many.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm chilling anyway.
There we are. All right, so the casings done. Do this one. Done. Third one. Done. Okay, and that's today. All right, so it seems like two situations. Hold on. I will give you context behind a situation from about 2 weeks ago. It was the 16th of June. There's a hot gun charge for criminal use of a firearm, and it was gunshots at the White Garage. 9 times out of 10 that we respond to, unfortunately, the evidence because of the host is not displaying, but my assumption here is going to be a boost of sorts.
Yeah, probably.
So that is going to be comping you a criminal use. 1 second.
Okay.
And then the only other situation this comes back to is an incident. Let's see. It was a jewelry store into a bank truck at the Playboy Mansion. There was 1 arrest made there, that being Izzy Wyatt.
Oh, I don't like that.
Let's see here.
I don't know who the assistant chief is, to be completely honest with you. Tyler Peters? I don't think I've...
This was the 21st, so exactly a week ago. Referencing the jewelry store into the bank truck situation.
Don't remember that one. I plead not guilty on that one.
That is a-okay. Give me...
Actually, what is it? Is it just criminal use?
It would just be criminal use in this case.
Yeah, then we'll have a guilty. It's just criminal use. I'm not gonna appeal that.
Fair enough. And then for the current situation, actually I need to escalate this report. Move to incident. Incident. So just to verify, you're pleading guilty to both criminal uses, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Technically, had the gun. It's my fault for having that gun, I guess. It was in my possession or whatever. Can't really do much about that. Can't do anything if I plead not. I guess you can't. Yeah. It's fine.
So here's the reality of the situation. Nothing is going to change unless you actually intend on appealing the charge.
Okay, yeah, then I won't bother because you can't change the fine, can you? If I plead
correct. The only thing, the only thing within my control is by pleading guilty, I can reduce time. And if it truly comes down to like, if you're gonna be serving the time, no matter what, and you know that there isn't really a means of appealing, like.
Yeah, I may as well, like, that's what I'm
not
thinking.
much you
like,
can
I'm
do.
not really going to appeal it, so I may as well just plead guilty to get the lesser time.
Let me add you to this one. Criminal use. There. Guilty. All right, so just a heads up, each of those criminal use charges is going to be 25 months and a $5,000 fine. So that's going to be separate to the current list of charges, which I'm going to get written up now.
Okay.
Hmm. Uh, Let me just see what people have been pushing. Tank truck. Oh, that person didn't get anything. Tank truck question mark. Tank truck LSIA. Those are probably hot guns. Popular bank truck. Robbery of a security firm. Bank truck OIS. Hmm. All right. Uh. Hmm. Last two. As of right now, let me just double check the possessions. I want to make sure I'm not missing any of those. Is there a charge for security cards is the question. Dun dun dun.
I'm curious. Would you seize it?
Yes, so there is a possession of security firm equipment. It's illegal to possess any security firm labeled equipment without being an on-duty security firm employee. Specifically, this covers any of the following, provided it can be proven to only be obtainable from Group 6 jobs: Group 6 security cards, Group 6 data chip, Group 6 PNY cards, Group 6 cash pallets, Group 6 rolled cash, or Group 6 cash bags.
Is it Group 6?
Yes. The security key card has Group 6 written on it.
God damn.
Unfortunately,
sure
I'm positive. It's got the Group 6 logo right on it.
Maybe it's not Group 6 logo. Maybe it's a different one.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see here. All right, so here's what you're looking at. You're looking at robbery of a security firm, a misdemeanor possession of thermal fuses, criminal possession of a firearm class 2, and possession of security firm equipment. Again, I'm not pushing any of the attempted murder stuff or anything to that extent, though I will say this. It was mentioned by one of the officers that I believe you were trying to communicate some of the stuff that was being said on radio. Do understand that by you doing so, I'm not kidding when I say this. Even though you were in cuffs, you could be copping accessory charges to the attempted murders, even though you were in cuffs.
Yeah, the thing is I was trying to neutralize it. I didn't want any more. Yeah, even though I get what you're trying to say, but I was trying to neutralize it. But
I'm not pushing it.
Some officers would be trying to push that because
it also depends on. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? Like, if I was the officer and you sat there and you were like, listen, like, they're going to shoot you down. They're talking on radio right now. If you don't turn me over, like, at that point, I'd probably be like, yeah, you know what? Listen, I understand you want to get out, but, like, at the same time, don't make a veiled threat, But from my understanding, that's not what happened. At least that's not how I perceived it when it was said or communicated over radio. So ultimately, not pushing it. I don't feel it should be appropriate
I just wanted to stop the bloodshed. I thought let's just I just wanted to stop the blood from spilling.
Understandable. So with those 4 charges, I think that is. I could get you on conspiracy. I'm not going to bother.
What's this?
Well, conspiracy is actually such a small charge, but it fits. I'm not kidding. Literally any crime committed in a group. Conspiring to commit a crime.
Wait, it's only okay.
It's literally
okay.
communicating with someone about committing a crime.
Okay, that's just.
It's kind of like it's almost on par with like criminal use of a firearm for guns. You know, if it's shot and you don't report it to police, by default criminal use. If you're in a group and you communicate with someone to commit a crime, it's conspiracy. Typically I reserve that for like active radio communication, and typically in situations where someone's being a prick. So I'm not going to push that. So prior to any reductions here, including everything. So actually, let me just read you this. The current list of charges, the 4 that I read, is 154 months and a $41,160 fine. So in total, you are looking at, before reductions, 204 months and a $51,660 fine. If you were to plead guilty, obviously the fine cannot be changed. However, the time will drop from 204
You
down
say
to
660,000.
no 51,660. Did I say thousand
okay.
after that? If I did, I apologize.
Oh yeah, I thought I was getting like a $500,000 charge. I was thinking, what the
No, you're good. Do me a favor, come over here. I'm just gonna, here we are. Gonna double check this. So taking into account the time that you have been in custody, in addition to the 25% across the board for the guilty plea, I can reduce this down from the original 204 down to, I'm going to do 60 months. It really should be 82 as the farthest I can go. But the reason I'm going to push it to 60 is because with some of, the communicating with the other officer regarding stuff, I don't want to have had time that you otherwise would have been able to work off time in prison sort of go against you. So I'm content with 60 months from the original 204. Is that something you're good with?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Works for me.
I'm fine with the 60 in return.
There we are. You have been billed the amount of $51,660. You do not have an active warrant out for your arrest, so you're good there. You have pled guilty to the current list of charges. I think we are good to get you sent off. Do you have any comments, questions, or concerns?
No. I'm all good.
All right. If that's the case, it's going to be 60 months. I'm going to get you sent off, and I think we're good. You have a good one. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Stay safe.
All right. Whew.
But Patrick Pastrana, you said?
That's correct.
Okay, I need to start looking at this.
Ruth, bless your heart. Yeah.
I've got a dossier I'm creating on the manor.
Bless your heart, Ruth. I don't know how the first hot gun you have to deal with had 8 fucking incidents.
All gang related, but yeah.
How much time did he get?
He's still here. He's in the interrogation.
My assumption,
he doesn't seem involved with either of the gangs, and he
correct.
told us who he bought the gun.
All right, let me go tell him. Okay.
I firmly believe that. I think.
Hey, Mr. Pastrami.
I think they offloaded. They offloaded a very clearly very fucking hot gun. Probably at a reduced rate, like.
No, it sounds like he paid full rate.
Oh my god.
What he just told us.
Hey. Can I talk to you real quick? Do you have any dealings with Gumtree? Do you have any dealings with Gumtree?
I haven't heard Gumtree.
Shift 3 officer.
Not really.
I pulled her keys today. Shift 3.
I haven't heard that name in a long time. Then again, listen, I've been getting the sand between my toes recently, you know? The weather's been nice
Yeah, me
out,
too.
so
Yeah, it's fucking amazing in the deep desert.
I'm a pussy. It's
The
complicated.
deep desert?
Well, I mean now. Anyways.
Oh. Okay, anyway.
Why? What's up? What happened?
No, so I do a traffic stop. I do a traffic stop with Bruce Baylor. I just didn't know.
Read the report.
It's a command report. He's not gonna be able to read it.
Oh.
I ended up having to pull her keys. I tried to TLDR. I tried to do a traffic stop. She got out of her car. I said, "Ma'am, get back in your car." She continued to walk up. It was like a reverse traffic stop. One citation for Bruce Baylor. She pulls up right behind us while we're giving a traffic citation, parks in the red, and gets out of her car. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Ma'am, you need to get back in your vehicle. Your vehicle's illegally parked." She walks towards Ruth. She's like, "Why are your hands on your hips at me?" And then I was like, "Ma'am, you need to get back in your car." And then she just immediately starts walking away, walks towards the bank. I say, "If you don't get in your car, I'm going to have it towed." She gets back in her car, starts to be very condescending. And she goes, "I'm a cop." And I said, you're illegally parking as a cop?" And she says, "Yep." And she just drives away. Walks back to the scene and pretty much just whoos me. And I say, "I'm the assistant chief of police. Who are you?" To which her tone shifted and it just went, I mean, it ended up going fucking, it ended up escalating. I said, "You know what?" I was like, "Fuck it, put your hands behind your back." I brought her down here. I was going to press charges on her, but then I was like, I think I'm going a little too hard right now. I cut her loose. I said, "I'm not going to be pressing charges on you at this time. I'm going to be pulling your keys. I'm going to talk to the chief and see what he wants to do."
Okay, so I lied. I do know who Gumtree is. When you said Gumtree, I don't know why, but I thought of someone from fucking like years ago. I know who you're talking about. They typically ride with someone all the time. But I will say, if they are shift 3, I would bring it up with Maple. Not Maple. No, Maple's not.
Yeah,
wait,
yeah,
who
Maple.
the fuck's LSPD now?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
no, he is
Maple.
LSPD.
It's Maple.
Okay, all right.
Maple.
I thought it was
that's
going
the thing.
crazy.
I'm going to bring it to the chief, and then I think Maple needs to deal with it. I mean.
Oh, 100%. If you just held Maple, listen, for what it's worth, like that shouldn't have happened. I do think it's very correctable behavior, but you should never, like just because you don't know someone does not mean you should assume they're at the bottom of the fucking totem pole. Like that should never happen, right?
Well,
There should be mutual respect.
That's the other thing is like I'm assuming she saw the I don't know. This is obviously an assumption.
CVPI.
CVPI with 2 officers assume
Someone they
PPO
haven't
and
seen.
just go, "I'm a cop." And not only that, imagine if that was a PPO. Like you're just gonna make somebody feel like shit. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, shouldn't happen.
So,
but yeah, Maple, Espino's, any of them will sort that shit out with the fucking quickness, because none of them would ever allow that shit to happen in their presence. That shit would get shut down with the fucking quickness.
yeah, I don't know. That was absolutely. I almost told her she was fired. I bit my tongue so hard, and then it was like, all right. Okay.
That's actually so surprising. Because Gumtree's is that the one with the southern accent?
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I wow. You know what's crazy? Recruitment in shift 3 happens almost purely on vibe checks. Straight up. Like everything is teachable, right? But you can't really teach a vibe. Like you either are or you are not someone who's gonna fit in, right? So for someone to do that in shift 3 is kind of fucking crazy.
The ass chief too.
I know.
The ass chief, and not on top of that, the fucking original captain.
You want to know the worst part? This is giving unintentional fucking undercover boss vibes.
Oh yeah. Oh god. I wish you. Yeah, I wish you could.
I was stun locked at the disrespect, not even to a superior, but to even a
anyone. To anyone. That is crazy. Like, okay, I mean, I've had a situation with, I think it was like Sparks. This was like last month, where he's like, "Oh, do you have a yote in your scout?" And I was like, yeah. He's like, can I see under the hood? And the thing is, he interrupted a conversation I was having with Martha. I was like, no, you're sitting there looking like a lost puppy, like waiting for me, interrupting the conversation. And I'm like, no, you cannot. And he may have perceived that as me joking and then went over to my car to like start Slim Jimming it. And I was like, no, like I actually mean no. If you can't sit there and wait for a conversation and have to interrupt another one, like the answer is no. You don't get to look under the hood.
Petas, I got something I want to run on this guy really quick.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
He doesn't have DNA on file, so I'm going to get his DNA.
Oh, perfect.
But
yeah,
also in regards to that, one of these was a shootout 2 days ago. So if we ask him when he bought the gun, if it was past the 2 days, his whole story's bullshit.
Wait, it was a shootout with who though?
Bestie's Mana.
Oh yeah, you could ask him. I mean, I've been around for that entire fucking war, and if you want to, yeah, you should validate it with him. You should 100% validate it with him.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
How much did he pay for that gun?
$60K.
60 racks.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is insane. I mean, listen.
60 racks for a dirty gun. How crazy is that?
Well, I mean, I guess the reality is if you sell it for less, the expectation is that something's wrong with it. So like maybe you have to sort of like
60 racks for a dirty gun is what I'm saying. How much did it go for?
But yeah, but what? Oh, when you say dirty, you don't mean hot gun. You mean just not brand new, not super shiny.
Hot. I'm saying hot.
Oh, well, but that's the thing.
Racks for dirty.
Okay.
Filthy hot gun.
Peters, if someone's offering me a gun at a stupid cheap price, my assumption is that's just got a murder on it, like an actual murder, not an attempted murder, an actual murder.
Is that a cheap price though?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know.
The thing is, so he bought it from Terry Lingston. Terry Lingston claimed that the gun was hot.
Oh, he did claim it was hot? Oh, damn.
Yeah, and he told us that, yeah.
Patrick kind of seemed like a dumbass.
Well, I told him, I was like, you're looking at 8 separate charges with this. I was like, how much you got in your account? I was like, you don't have to answer, but I'm just going to tell you, this one's going to fucking hurt if you don't work with us. I mean, he was already working with Ruth, so.
Poor dude. I say poor dude, but fuck that guy. Poor Rupert. Rupert was like, I was shooting him. His bullets were reaching me, but mine weren't reaching him. That's so unfortunate. Oh, we might be able to get an affiliation to someone else. The owner of that D10.
Liam Law?
No, Yusuf Dawi?
Oh, are you talking about from the
bank truck? The coquette that was on the train tracks that they ended up getting back. They have a Hades affiliation.
Well, Hades had that whole fucking falling out, right?
True, so that could just be outdated.
This is crazy, all this shit going on. I was like, wow, today's going to be slow as fuck, because Saturdays are always slow as fuck, and I've just been hammered all morning.
Yeah, he said he bought it last night, so his story checks.
If you want to knock time out, I know generally we shouldn't, but the fact that we're interrogating him and stuff,
yeah,
I think we should.
He's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
2 of the incidents are like little shootings, criminal use of firearm shootings. You think I should just not charge those?
The thing is, in this situation, when was the most recent shooting? It was actually the most recent incident was at Manor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck. What do you think, Rhodes? I don't think we hit him with anything. I mean, he
if he was truthful and everything's adding up,
yeah, I was gonna say he just ratted and nobody ever rats, which I kind of want to reward. I want to give him a piece of cheese.
Yeah, 100%. Now, do I think this guy should be going around like, hey, I have the fucking blueprint to not get charged with hot gun shit. I'll just snitch. Like, as like a one-time thing, like this being like a big break. Small breaks in the future, yeah, absolutely. And for information, when other people won't give a shit, yeah, 100%.
I also think like the next time he would need to offer more than he's offered this time.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
or it can't be as severe as fucking 8 hot gun situations.
The other thing, Peters did have a point that it'd probably be hard to prove if it went to court that he actually was involved.
100. Yeah, no. The thing is, he's not documented man. Remember, his blood's not on scene for any of this.
Yeah, his blood is on file. He just doesn't have the tag.
Okay.
Did his DNA come back to any of the situations? I assume not. Yeah. There's someone that looks like him, but they have a red nose.
A red nose? Okay.
Like a clown nose. It's Ernest Mayberry Day. 18112. Except instead of from like the mouth down, it's like half the same hairstyle. Tattoo half of the face. How do y'all feel about Sour Patch Kids?
They're amazing.
I fucking love them, except for the fact that they just ruin your teeth. Like the worst thing you can eat for your teeth, because
what the fuck
sticks to it.
I just found a normal Sour Patch Kid in my watermelon only one.
Okay, I don't fuck with the watermelon.
Contamination.
Now, how come they call this bag family size? It's me size. What happened?
I feel like somebody, you know, Peters, I am putting you on this, that are not gonna like him not being charged with the Judge Barrick shot situation. Probably the only one I see having any blowback. Because I'm not writing he cooperated in this, because I feel like that's just going to be a bigger issue. I just did lack of evidence of involvement, but if it's questioned, I mean, there was more than that.
I think there's more than enough here to prove he had no involvement. His DNA came back to none of those scenes. Normally, we wouldn't go through this effort, but again, we got something out of it, right?
Yeah.
I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I think if this landed into the hands of any member of, like, even just a hang around of a gang, there's no fucking shot they're getting leniency, unless they're willing to give us info. But again, no one ever talks.
Snitch.
Yep. I mean, to be fair, something I said since the beginning, the reason nobody talks is officers can't really do much to protect them, which is why I'm not writing anything about his cooperation in any of these.
Well, I got a dossier. I put it in, but it's a private report.
Okay. All right, so for the scene that we were at earlier, you might actually be able to help me with this. Now I'm on to the charges for that. 5 times attempted murder of a government employee.
Yeah, 5 is perfect.
And then...
he would be getting an accomplice. Yeah, he'd be getting an accomplice to the security firm charge, which was 1 second. Robbery of a security firm.
Okay. Accomplice.
Specifically because he was the passenger in the Astron that began ramming the vehicle behind the bank truck. Okay. I saw him clear as day.
Include that in their statement.
I will. I haven't written my statement yet.
Okay. All right.
But I was the one who saw him.
The green-haired individual, and then was on the.
Correct.
I saw him on the hill shooting, so I'll add that into mine as well.
Yep, I'm not kidding. I was actually going to shoot the driver of that Astron. They didn't realize that the 95 was behind the bank truck, and they kept ramming the vehicle in front of the bank truck. If they hit it head on, they would have ran over their friend.
All right, so 5-time attempted, so it's 195 months, 198 months. You think cutting it down to 100 is fair? That's a lot, but...
Well, that's Rhodes. He has more information.
So, based upon legislation, the way it works is we can authorize up to 25% for a guilty plea. In addition to that, we can take off not up to, but every minute they've been in custody past 20 minutes, we can also take that into account. But it is officer discretion.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, he's been in custody for a long ass time.
Yeah, I mean, for context, my guy, especially because evidence processing and me looking into hot gun stuff when I was explaining stuff to you, between all of his shit, he was looking at 204. He was the first one cuffed. He had been cuffed 90 minutes prior, an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
So between the 25%, that time off, it came down to 60 months. Now, to be fair, he didn't get charged with shooting cops because he was already in cuffs,
Right,
but
right.
yeah, you can definitely drop it a fair bit.
Yeah, I'll probably do 120, so he gets like 70 months off because that should equal out around where it's at.
Yeah, not only that,
70
he's
people
not
off, is it
getting.
just jailing them.
What was that?
Yeah, plus he's getting all those things dropped. For jailing him.
So
When I left, there was back and forth of how we were doing it.
it just comes down to billing. You go to the report. You can go ahead and copy what's required to issue the bill.
Yep.
Then after that, you do the same thing, except obviously if you're changing the time from the original, just go ahead and adjust that. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're dealing with hot gun stuff,
Hey, Bonnie.
you don't really have to charge them separately. You kind of just have to manually add up all the situations, bill them.
And then, okay.
Correct. You can unbill in the event where you make a mistake. Just keep that in mind. That's not the end of the world. And then same thing with time. Also, this is pretty big. There is a legislative cap on time. I believe it to be 360 months.
I did read that, yeah.
So in this hot gun situation, if he was charged with them, it would have exceeded that by a long shot.
By
because
a lot, yeah.
I think each gang related is like 75 months. I could be wrong. So just keep that in mind. I don't want you to send someone off for too long.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right,
you're good.
Appreciate that. I'm gonna get him going.
Car chat. We'll try to report.
I'm going to Yale.
All right, he's gone.
Okay. Okay. I actually, you want to, Ruth, you want to do an interrogation?
Sure.
When you're done, let me know. I'm going to have you call this guy.
I can call him.
Let me see if his number's in the yellow pages. Yeah, it's Michael Bazin, just Bazin in the yellow pages. See if he wants to come down to MRPD. You could tell him he's
Hey,
She already knew what you wanted to say.
that was a strange way to answer the phone. Were you growling?
Oh no, he got rabies.
This is Brook Roof,
Yes.
LSPD.
Bazin has rabies.
I was wondering if you'd be able to, come down to MRPD, have a chat.
She said he was growling.
Are you Okay, now let me clarify. Are you actually on your way? You just saying that and gonna go growl at some other people? Listen, I don't like smoke being blown up my ass. I want to know if you're actually showing up or